I always go live on YouTube, and they never give me. They're just like, you're live on Instagram. They're like, all right, you get a little bit of a leeway. Let me get you set up. Let me get you propped up a little bit here. Like, god damn. This is gonna be. You guys see this on the replay, you're gonna be like, what the fuck is he doing? This is me. Why is it so zoomed in too? Zoom out. Oh my god. There we go. Holy shit. We'll figure it out. It only took a minute. Right? Alright, so let's get live over here. We're starting live. We got everything? I think so. I think we got everything. Alright. How's everybody doing today? How is everyone on this lovely Food Friday? Hopefully everybody's getting ready to tune in. And honestly, here I am last week thinking, you know what? Here I am thinking last week, like, we might be able to get away with going live and doing some fall related stuff. It's hot as hell outside right now in Pittsburgh. So what was I thinking when it came down to, yeah, let's start fall. It's not fall time. We got to finish it off. So we have one more week of Fall Friday related, or should I say Food Friday, summer related food. So hello everybody, thanks for tuning in. How are we doing? How's it going? But essentially what we're going to be making today, and honestly I should start putting it down here in the comments, is chipotle pork. We're making sweet potato muffins as well. Sweet potato muffins and sides. There we go. And then we're gonna pin that so you guys have an idea. Because I get a lot of people coming in and they're like, been getting a lot of messages. They're like, Nick, I tune into your live streams, but I don't even know what the hell you're doing. You're like midway through it, and I don't even know what you're cooking. So we're doing chipotle pork. We have sweet potato muffins and some sides. So essentially, that's what we're getting ourselves into a little bit. I hate going live and then it instantly says every time, it's like, pause due to connection, pause due to connection. I spend like $250 a month on internet connection. Every time I go live, it always like, it gets you with like some weird connection issue on Instagram. It doesn't make any sense. It never does that to me for the rest of the day. But then every time I go live, it's like just when it starts going live, it's this connection, and then you see me and you're like, I don't even want to be doing this. But I'm rambling on. I got the C4. Let me show you what we're getting ourselves into today. So we got this pork, and I don't know if you've seen some of these streams from beforehand, is that no sponsorship from these people, right? But Smithfield here, this was on sale. So if you think about this, it is 18 grams of protein per 4 ounces, right? So hello everybody, thanks for tuning in. So I see everybody tuning in here. So what this is, it makes it very easy for us to cook, right? So I think whenever we go into a lot of times when we're trying to cook dinner, we're trying to cook healthy, we figure out we don't know what the hell we're even gonna make. What are we making, Nick? I don't know what I'm making, so you end up ordering out. What if we were able to kind of get the slow cooker and do a lot of the work essentially for us, right? So it's essentially what I want to get into today. I'm going to show you how to make this and turn this into a carnita. So I'm going to rotate you over here. Bingo. And so essentially what I want us to start doing, and I'll get you over here, YouTube, so you can have an idea. Let me get you over there. There we are. So essentially what we're going to be doing is, obviously it's just cut this open. So I don't know if and let me know in the chat if you've seen this at your grocery store. These little Smithfield. So I get it at a place in my neighborhood called Giant Eagle Market District. And they have them. But it's weird because only certain ones have had this specific brand. So essentially what this is, it's a pork shoulder. So this is a Smithfield's pork shoulder. Now, I don't know if this is a Pittsburgh-based thing, but it's a fresh pork shoulder, chipotle flavored. And the reason why I like using the pork shoulder, essentially, is because whenever you cook it, it gives you that kind of that pulled consistency, and it's a melt in your mouth type of pork, as I should say, or type of meat. Just like anything, if you cook it long enough, it will end up flaking off. But with this chipotle pork, it actually ends up giving you just that extra little bonus that we're all looking for. So we're turning this into carnitas. And you're going to be like, Nick, well, I don't know how to make a damn carnita. Well, that's why we're here. So I'm going to show you is I got one of my oranges right here. And I got a lime. So essentially what we're going to do is just make sure you take the sticker off. Holy shit, I did this the other day and didn't realize I threw this whole orange in here and the sticker was still attached, and I was like, that's not a spice. That's not why we're here. What the hell? So all I want you to do is quarter this orange. So you're just going to quarter it, cut it in half, and then cut it in half again. And essentially what I want us doing is just squeezing all of the juice from the orange into the slow cooker, and then you can get rid of it. If you want, you could keep one in, and we'll just do that just because we're nice. So I'm squeezing this fresh orange juice, and essentially why you want to do this, and we'll keep one of these in here just because, essentially why you want to use the orange with the chipotle is the acid, right? The acid is going to help balance off a lot of that flavor. It's going to help break down that meat, and it's going to help you just become a better, just kind of like a better dish, essentially, the whole way. So I'm going to do the same thing with the lime. I'm not going to throw it in there. I'm just going to juice it. And I'm just going to squeeze one full lime and then call it a day right there. So that is your liquid right there. It is orange and it is lime. And then you get into, I like to throw just a little bit of fresh cilantro. And I'm not going to lie. They ran out of regular cilantro at the store, and I got organic cilantro, and I went through the self-checkout aisle, if you know what I mean. No, I didn't steal it. I just paid $1.50 less than maybe I should have. And the reason I say is you should have had the other stuff. You should have had the regular stuff for the plebs like us, where we don't want to spend $4 on a damn bunch of organic cilantro. What you cooking? Veek, I guess I didn't put it on over there. I have it listed on Instagram. I guess I didn't put it over. So we're doing a chipotle pork, we're doing some sweet potato muffins, and we're gonna get the sides together with all of it. You know, because yeah, you agree. I know how it is. You know, so hey, if you wanted me to spend the money for it, I would have paid it as long as you would have had it there. But as you can see, I got a haircut too. My hair, you guys didn't tell me my hair was getting atrocious. I was growing it out, and I realized how many gray hairs I started having on the top, and I was like, oh hell no. I mean, I'm 35, but I got to make sure that. I'm looking good for when I'm doing these exercise videos. So, and you guys didn't let me know. I had this long ass hair and you guys are making me look bad. So, essentially, it's enough about me. So I got an orange. Let me bring this over here. I don't know why. I act like I have it cooking. But it's right here. It's the orange. What I need to do is get some damn cameras. Let me bring you down here. I guess I should be able to bring you up. So essentially you can see how that is just a pork shoulder. Let me show you YouTube right there. You see how that's just a pork shoulder with some cilantro, a juice of orange, juice of a lime. And essentially that's going to be our base for our carnitas. So how I'm going to do this is I'm just going to add about a half a cup of water in there as well. Just so it doesn't like evaporate and burn and stick away. And that's just going to give it a little bit more moisture. And if you really wanted to, you could add some cumin, which I am going to do because I like cumin. But the thing is if it's already marinated, a lot of that seasoning's already in there anyway, so you don't really need to go too crazy. So we're going to go a little cumin, we'll do a little chili powder that I think my girlfriend just got yesterday, so great. So we're going to add a little bit of chili powder. And really, we're going to set it and forget it. And I think that's always a smart thing. I don't know how am I really aging myself? Set it and forget it. Who said that? Who said to set it and forget it? forget who said that. That's gonna drive me crazy. I had no cable when I was a kid. I still don't have any cable, and all I did was watch infomercials. So, what'd you say? No. All I did was watch those infomercials, right? They're trying to sell you all that just seen on TV type shit. And I like your hair? Oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I just got it cut. So, keep up the great work. I appreciate you, Salt. You the man. But I forget who said it and forget it. But I would always be bombarded by these, like, just seen on TV type things. And so I got a sucker to buying all of them all the time. But, you know, it's... I just did a video the other day of, or yesterday, today actually, I released it. And it is, it's an egg separator. You know, it's like the egg separator compared to the traditional method. And I thought that was funny because a lot of people are like, you know, I like these things. But I could sit here and ramble on about that all day. You say I'm like Gordon Ramsay. You better settle down. I am nowhere near Gordon Ramsay. I mean, I have been a chef for a long time before I switched into the exercise realm, but that's why I like to show a little bit of everything, right? You can't have it all exercise, you can't have it all fitness. But now that we have this over here, I want to make sure that we get this cooking because I need to eat dinner tonight. So the only thing we did, and I'm gonna actually put all these recipes. I'll let you know about these recipes. I'll put them on. I used to gatekeep it behind my subscriber, my $2.99 paywall behind my subscribers, but I felt like, you know what, let me just start giving these out to the people. What the fuck am I doing, right? Let's just give it out. You guys need some help, I need some help, why not? So I'm gonna set this on low for the next 4 hours, or I'm gonna set it on high for 4 hours, low 8 hours. So cook time hours 4. I need to eat dinner. So essentially, now that we have that main thing going, we need to be able to get the sides. So as you can see, I got a whole bunch of stuff right here, right? So let me bring you down a little bit lower so you can kind of see what we got going on here. So we got a whole bunch of stuff that we got going on. So what you can see here is the corn. So I'm heating up the pan because we're gonna make a nice little corn salsa. So not only are we gonna make a nice corn salsa, we're also gonna do some pickled onions. And we're going to do a lime crema. So that's going to be really fun. It's going to be really good. So essentially, let's get ourselves together. So I already shucked the corn. Say that 4 times fast. I've already shucked the corn. So we got the corn here. And essentially what I want to do is I realized when I did a corn salsa maybe a couple weeks ago, it takes too long in a damn oven. So let's do it right here on the pan. But again, when you're doing it in the pan, you got to make sure you don't walk away because it will burn quick as hell. So I got a little bit of corn shucked. We're gonna use this. Wait for the pan to heat up. And again, what we're gonna be using for this is we got corn. We're gonna do a little bit of red onion right here, just simple red onion diced. I got some jalapenos and yeah, some lime and cilantro. So we got that for our side. So that's gonna be fun. And the sweet potato muffins are gonna be a little bit different too because I haven't made this recipe in quite some time. So we're using these sweet potatoes that all you got to really do is just microwave them. So it makes it a lot easier for us and really makes it a lot easier for everybody, right? So, because I don't know if you've ever tried to bake a potato. It takes fucking forever, right? You put that in the oven. I mean, you're just like, is this ever gonna cook? And it never does, right? So, luckily, you can put these in the microwave nowadays and it makes it a little bit easier. So, we got this pan heating up. And I'm gonna just put some olive oil here, just to get some olive oil in here. We'll let that heat up, and essentially we're just gonna throw the corn right on top of there to get it nice and charred, get it nice and caramelized. And so while that's working, let me bring you over here, YouTube, so you can see what the hell is going on. Hopefully you don't fall. You might fall. You might fall, you might not, I don't know, but we're here. And I will move you over here. My cat is licking the bowl for her food right now, and it is like kind of annoying. So essentially what we got here is the food processor. Let me bring this over a little bit more, right? So we got our food processor, and what are we gonna do? We're gonna make our avocado crema. And this is very easy. So I know a lot of people including myself, I like sour cream, but sometimes sour cream's a little fattening, right? Let's be real. Sour cream is fattening. It's fat. I mean, duh. So this is also fat, but let's see. This is a little bit of a better fat. And if you could get yourself where the avocados are ripe, make sure they're ripe. You need to make sure that these things are ripe, right? Because essentially when you're doing, if you're trying to use an avocado and it's unripe, you already know it sucks. So we got that going. And we're going to cut this in half. And I want to show you, I know we're over here on YouTube and we're over here on Instagram. Let me show you first how I want you to cut. And believe it or not, how you hurt yourself and cut yourself and this is statistically, at least it was a couple years ago when I looked it up, was you cut yourself the most by cutting an avocado and getting the pit out. So I want to show you how you could do this without hopefully cutting your fucking hand off. So you're going to just go around in a circle, make sure your knife is nice and sharp, twist it, and then now you got your little seed, right? And so using the back edge of your knife, we're going to fucking stab that thing and we're going to twist. And we're just going to do this a couple times. Sometimes it comes right out. Sometimes, especially since I'm on camera doing this, it's going to want to be an asshole. Yeah, of course, this is going to be the one that doesn't do it. Yeah, so, okay, so this one doesn't do it, but you got the idea. You put the back end of the knife in there because a lot of times what happens, right? You're sitting there trying to cut this thing out. Next thing you know, you slip, you cut your finger, and you're like, what the hell? Or you could also just grab it out, right? But that never happens. Or you have to resort to, getting the spoon and getting this thing. So they said it was ripe. So that's how you know a ripe avocado is if when you stab this and it comes right out, that's like the perfect avocado. This one isn't quite ripe. It's still a little raw. So let's see how this one does. Even though it says ripe and ready. Yeah, my ass. For who? Not for me making avocado crema. So we are cutting this in half and see. And honestly, you see how that still has some of that avocado stuff on there? See how I can kind of scrape it? That's how you know it's not ripe. It's still a little raw, so to speak. So let's see. Does that work? See, I told you I'm not an asshole. I knew this worked. Look. I told you I wasn't just making things up. But yeah, essentially it works. And then you can just pop it right off without cutting yourself and chopping your damn finger off, right? Because we definitely don't want that. I don't need you doing that. So essentially, since I had to use the spoon last time, make sure your hot pan isn't burning away. And I am just scooping this in to a food processor because what are we doing? Oh shit. As I'm not looking, when the skin peels off easy, 100%, right? And I think that's always the thing too, right? And you can see this doesn't really peel off easy. And luckily you didn't just see that Instagram. Hopefully you didn't just see that because I just scooped the whole damn avocado onto the ground. So let's try this again. So we're gonna scoop in here. So maybe it was ripe. So I'll tell you what, that's pretty damn clean, right? That's pretty damn clean. So you were on to something. I forget who said that on YouTube, but you were on to something right there. So let's see if I can not step on this thing. I should probably clean it up, but for the sake of the live stream and the sake of flow, I am just going to keep it going, keep it moving, making sure that you don't get any damn shells in there, right? So I'm doing 2 avocados. And I'm going to do a half a cup of Greek yogurt. And make sure it's plain. Make sure it's not vanilla based. Make sure, because I tell you what, I've done that before. I went to make a recipe using Greek yogurt. And I was like, yeah, I got Greek yogurt. And I grabbed it, and it was my vanilla Greek yogurt. Not the same, right? Those are not the same as we have well found out. So let me wash my hands. Make sure you're washing your hands when you're cooking, right? We got to do good sanitation. And then let me make sure that I get this off the ground. I'm losing my damn mind over here. That thing pops right out. You know, YouTube, you saw that. It pops right out. All right. So now that we got that, we can go back to the regularly scheduled. Now this is, so some of you, I guess I didn't even realize it. I didn't post it on to YouTube, but we're making an avocado crema. So avocado crema, the pan is nice and hot, as you can see this oil. And so I am throwing the corn on here. And essentially make sure that it is flat. It is flat like this because you want the caramelization from the sugars of the corn to come up and give yourself a nice caramelization, because this is going to be a roasted corn salad. So we were making a chipotle pork bowl. If you did not see my stories, it's a chipotle pork bowl with, I was going to use brown rice and quinoa, but I wanted to show you this. This was on sale. So when I was looking for some quinoa and some rice, and I know a lot of people always message me, especially my clients, Nick, you want me to eat quinoa, but the shit is nasty and it takes so long to cook and blah, 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 blah. And trust me, I get it because I'm the same way. So I've been actually getting into these things right here. Now, the convenience, right, these little convenience like rice packets come at a cost, right? Just like anything. You pay with time, you pay with money, you pay with convenience, you pay with sodium. So if you ever look at the back of these, yes, you will have, these are really great for convenience-wise, but holy shit, are they full of sodium. Now, you might ask, well, Nick, sodium, I really don't care. People with high cholesterol, people with high blood pressure, you don't want a lot of sodium, right? You don't want a lot of salt. So this right here per serving is, 25% of your daily sodium intake. However, if you look at something like this, it's 13%. So make sure if you're doing like the cheap, you know, I wouldn't say the cheap way. I'm a cheater. Let's be real. I'm lazy. I'm making all this shit from scratch. But when it comes down to it, if there's something that I can take from, take some time out, I'm going to use this. So just make sure the ones that you watch, great content. I appreciate you for saying that. I thank you. You know, I really do thank you. That means a lot to me, you know. So, so we got this Spanish style rice. It's got quinoa and peppers and corn, and this is cilantro lime. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to bring them both together. And now we have quinoa, cilantro lime rice. Fuck, you know, we're genius over here. No, I guess that's not technically cooking. That would be more or less assembling. But you know what? That's what we're doing. That's what we are, right? That's who we are. Sometimes you got to work smarter, not harder. Make sure that you're not burning your damn corn over here too. So give that a nice stir, and it's going to take a little longer. So let's finish what we started over here. Now let me know in the chat, have you ever made pickled red onions from scratch? Let me know in the chat. Pickled red onions from scratch. Look at the cat. She's ready. She's like, I want... No, I don't have anything for you. No. But let me know in the chat. Pickled red onions from scratch. Anybody ever made pickled red onions from scratch? And if so, what did you use for your base? Do you use rice vinegar, or do you use apple cider vinegar? Or if you're like, Nick, I use both. Shit. What do you mean just one? I use them both. Because I guess what? I use them both. And the reason why I like using them both, if honestly I don't have it, at least I don't think I do, red wine vinegar. And the reason why I like using red wine vinegar is because I use red onions to pickle. And so that ends up turning into more of like that reddish pink kind of feel. But I'm going to show you how to make some of that too as well. And again, if you're like, Nick, I like this, just give me the damn recipes. Stay tuned later on today. I'll post the recipes if I don't forget. Actually, I don't have any clients today, so but I do have a 4:30 claw. So I got to make sure that I'm up and ready for that. But you will get all these recipes when you're all said and done. Just let me know which one you're most happy for, and I'll give it for you. So essentially, I want to throw a half a cup. So I go 2 avocados in here for the crema, and I'm going a half a cup of this non-fat, plain, remember, plain Greek yogurt. If you're like, Nick, you're crazy. You're just going to scoop in there and put it in there. This is 1 cup. Believe it or not, it's a cup. And if you measure this in American, it is 1 cup. Now, if you're trying to get me in the others, I don't know. It's not my grams. Is not my thing. We are cups over here for no reason. So I got a half a cup of the yogurt. And the thing is we're going to save that yogurt for later on because we're going to be making the sweet potato muffins that is going to use some of that yogurt going forward. So just to kind of make sure that you don't throw that away or give it to your cat or give it to your dog or whatever the hell you're doing with it. Giving it to the deer. I don't know. You know, like my deer. So essentially, all right. So we got 2 avocados in there. I got 1 lime. So make sure to peel the fucking sticker off. That's going to be important. Peel the sticker off. Rinse it off because it has a wax coating. So a lot of times when you're doing this has a wax coating. And being that we're using the zest, I mean, it's going to get some wax, whatever, but I just don't want it to be all wax. So let's just wipe it off a little bit, and yeah, we'll go from there. Now, find my, you know what? Well, this is how I wanted to teach you. So sometimes you don't have a zester, but you might have a potato peeler. So essentially, what you want to do is almost just peel it like a potato. And as long as you don't get any of the white, see how there's like a little white? I don't know if you can really see that. But there's like a little piece of white on there. I don't know. My camera ain't that good. I guess time to upgrade the damn camera. But I'm going to take this chunk and I'm just going to throw it right in here. You might be asking, Nick, what the hell? Is it going to chop up? Is it going to go? I hope it does. And 9 times out of 10, it usually did. So it usually does inside of there. So I throw a chunk, just a little chunk, right? You can still see that is, and if I had a zester, I would zest it. But I just don't know where it's at for sake of time. I don't want to waste your time. But I'm going to cut this in half and just squeeze 1 full lime in here. And make sure you're moving it around too, right? A lot of times, like, I squeeze it one way, and then I squeeze it another way, and then I squeeze it again, and I just make sure that I'm squeezing the fuck out of it, making sure that I'm getting every last little bit of lime in there. So with this, you add a little love, a little bit of salt. That thing's dead. And I'm gonna add a little bit of pepper. And so this is now an avocado crema that is a little bit better for you than maybe say just sour cream or whatnot. It just got a little bit better fats in there. So just like anything else, I'm going to take a bunch off of my organic, non-organic, I don't know, I didn't pay organic prices, cilantro. We're just going to throw a bunch of that in there. And you know what? We're pretty much done. Actually, just to give it a consistency, we'll throw just a little bit of olive oil in there. And what I want you to do is just pulse that until you get a good consistency and everything's good together. And then you put it on low, set it, and forget it. Right. Who the hell said that? Who was the person that, was it, I don't want to say Billy Mays, but help me out, chat. Who was the set it and forget it person that was the cooking? Was it Billy Mays? That wasn't Billy Mays. Who the fuck was it? It's going to drive me crazy. Set it and forget it. So, we have the corn still. You see how long this is taking, right? This corn takes a little longer. So that's why if you can have it in the pan, you can kind of watch it. You can keep control of it so it doesn't turn into essentially popcorn. But you see what we got over here. Ooh. And just like anything that you're doing when you're cooking, right? Make sure, like especially if you're using a food processor, is that you're scraping down the sides. I know a lot of times we just kind of let it go and do its thing. Don't scrape the sides, and we realize we still have, it didn't blend all the way together. So scrape the sides, add it on low, And one thing I think a lot of people don't realize is don't just set it and forget it, because essentially as it's spinning, it's creating heat, right? So it's getting hot. And this is avocado and sour cream, so we don't want to spin it until it's just hot and starts cooking it. We want to make sure that it has a nice consistency, and I'm about to show you. You're about to be like, damn, Nick, that actually does look good. Of course it does. So, look at that, right? Look at that consistency when we think about it, right? Look at that consistency, and that is your avocado crema. And then you taste it and you go, what's it need? Does it need this? Does it need that? Now, to be honest, I probably wouldn't eat this just by itself, right? This needs to be on top of something. This needs to be layered with something. This needs to be mixed with something to really give it the full umami taste. So that's very plain, very simple, right? And look, how runny is it? Not too runny. Look at that. See? So there you go. Avocado crema, something nice and easy, and making sure that you work with it quick. So if you don't work with this quick, and what I mean by that is putting a lid on it, putting some plastic wrap, is that it will get oxidized. What does oxidation means? It means it's losing an electron, and what does losing an electron means? It means it turns gray. That's essentially what that is. So if you've ever gotten your avocado or you made guacamole and it's turned gray or just like a shitty color, and you're wondering why did that happen, it's because air got to it, and that's just what happens when air oxidizes with fruits and it starts to go bad. So one way you can prevent that is the lime, which we already put in there, but also the by putting a plastic wrap over top of it. So that's what we got going on right now. I don't know what the hell I'm looking for. So you can start to see our corn. We got our corn. Give me an update. Okay, what are you looking at? So we are at our chipotle. What am I making? Where is all my stuff? So we're making a chipotle corn bowl, essentially. We're making a roasted corn. I can't even talk right now. We're making roasted corn salsa, and we're making a chipotle. We got a chipotle in the slow cooker. And right now, we're just kind of getting the sides together for the chipotle in the slow cooker. So that is what we got going on here. Ron Popel and his rotisserie. Okay. He was the set it and forget it guy. And his rotisserie. Was he the set it and forget it guy? I would have never thought. I don't know. I was forgetting my damn mind. But essentially, you see how we are starting to turn a little bit of color, right? And so sometimes you might need to add a little bit more oil in order to get it into a place where he was Ron. What were we set? And it was the rotisserie. That's what he was setting and forgetting, was the rotisserie. Damn, I could have sworn it was something else. No, I guess it was. I guess you would hit the button and everybody would say, set it, and then he would say, yeah. I've watched that way too many times when I was a kid. Like, oh my God, that looks amazing. So thank you, Harvey. You definitely get bonus points for that. I'll keep that in mind. I have to write your name down and send you something, get you something nice next time. So we're setting it and forgetting it. We got our corn salsa, and we got that going. I can't believe that's who it is. Holy smokes. So essentially, I got my bowl, and let's bring you over here so you can see what the hell's going on. And I am just going to scrape this into the bowl so that we can cover this and save it for later so it doesn't go to shit. Now again, this is why you could spend a lot of your time just making the sides. Now again, you can buy this stuff, right? You don't essentially need to go out and do all this stuff, but I feel like if you have the pork in the slow cooker cooking, you got 4 hours, right? You got 4 hours to do really whatever the hell it is that you need to do. So if it's making the sides, if it's taking the kids out, if it's going and working out, doing whatever it is that you're doing, you have time, right? And so it's like, why not make some of these different sides? Why not go ahead and do some of these different things? Because, again, it all makes sense. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to put you on a little hack right here. So in order for, see how this is nice and green? And I know that's what you want, right? How you're going to do that to keep it green is to get some plastic wrap. And get off a little bit of plastic wrap. Make sure it doesn't. We'll just do this just for sakes. Because people always say, oh, what was it? What did I say earlier? You cut your hand off of the avocado. I cut my hand off of the damn teeth of the plastic wrap. That's where I cut my hand the most. I mean, this thing's vicious. I don't know about the rest of you, but that thing's vicious. But I'm gonna put you on some game. So when you make avocado or you make anything like this, push the plastic wrap onto the avocado or onto your mixture. And so if you do this, what happens is it stops the oxidation process. It stops the oxygen from going in because it has a barrier, and then you're able to kind of close this the whole way. And so this is the same thing for any type, like if you make a cream sauce at your house and you wonder why it gets that little film at the top, well, it's the same. It's basically the same thing. It just gets oxidized. And so that plastic wrap allows it to kind of stay fresh. So a little hack for you. That's why we're here. That's why you tune into these live streams. That's why I do the live streams, to give you guys some damn value, right? All right. So we have that. Now we got a couple different things. That's hot as hell. I'm wondering, like, damn, it's getting hot in here. It's getting hot in here. We already know who sings that, so I don't need to ask you that. If you don't know, damn, I'm old. So we have our corn salsa that we're about to put together. So corn salsa, I got a little char on it, right? There's just a little char. And so with this char, I don't want it to be too crazy. Now, you can go as crazy as you want. I just don't want it to be too nuts. I just like a nice little char because it does taste a little different, right? Because you are caramelizing the sugars. So we got the corn and we got our lime. So again, roll the lime to get some extra juice. I'm going to cut a quarter of it off, not the full thing, not in half, because I'm actually just going to put that lime, squeeze it right in there. And that's pretty much nice and simple, right? Because you don't do anything too crazy with that. We have a jalapeno, and you can throw really whatever you want in here. I'm throwing a jalapeno, seeds and everything. Nah, we won't go seeds and everything. Why not? It's a small one. But you got to watch out with these peppers, right? The bigger the pepper, the less the flavor. The smaller the pepper, the larger the flavor. So keep that in mind. So I have just a nice little simple, nothing too crazy. Going to throw that in there just to give it just a little bit of heat. And then now this is where you test out your knife skills, right? Actually, why am I using this knife? This is my good knife. Everybody knows about this one. We've been using this one for over a year now in these Food Friday streams. So again, cutting this onion, let me show you. So many people ask, Nick, I never knew you cut an onion like that, or you could cut an onion like that. What have I been doing my whole life? Oh, I don't know, but you haven't been doing it like this. So cut off both ends, right? You cut off both ends. You cut it in half, because then now, let me see. Oh, we got some shadows going on over here. Why didn't you tell me we got the damn shadows? There we go. Let me see if I can bring that light down. There we go. How's that? No, I need to get some extra light over here. Holy hell. And then it always, why does it do that? Okay, whatever. So, if anybody wants to teach me how to use a camera, that would be great. Anybody want to teach me how to use a camera? We got any pro photography people out here? Any videographers that can help a brother out when he's trying to give some live streams? I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. At least I try to, but whatever. I'm just doing it off a cell phone. So here we are. We got to cut this onion, right? We got to do it just like, actually, I'm going to use this one. So we're going to score it all the way around because I want to fine dice. So it's almost like you're doing a julienne. slicing it down all the way nice and fine. But then I want you, if you have a sharp enough knife, you're gonna cut that in half. Once you cut that in half, then I want you nice, small, fine dice. And essentially you could see YouTube, right? Look how Instagram, that is or let me show you like this, right? Very fine dice. You know, we ain't bullshitting around here, right? And the thing is you could do that. You can cut that same way, that fine dice. See, look, now we're starting to get a little corn salsa. If you have a sharp knife, right? It's all about having a sharp knife. It's not about the skills in the kitchen. It's about if you have a damn sharp knife. So, we have a jalapeno. We have we have an onion that's minced, basically. We have our roasted corn. And so, essentially what we need to do now is we just need to throw in just a little bit of cilantro. I'm just gonna give this a little rough chop too. So we're gonna throw in a little bit of cilantro. And I'm gonna throw in some fresh garlic because, you know, I am Italian. And if you know me, you know we got garlic. And it's always, you know, I'm lazy. I got the garlic in there. We always use the garlic in this container. Let me know in the chat if you're one of those. Do you actually peel your garlic or do you actually use this? Let me know. I prefer this. I don't got time to be squashing garlic, get the shells all over the place. So I'm just doing a little pinch of some fresh garlic in there. And essentially, remember this salsa's hot or warm, right? It just came from off of the stovetop. So we're putting all of these veggies on top of it. And we really just want to do that to let marinate a lot of the flavors into it. Because let's be real, we're not going to come back to this for a while. I mean, we're going to let this kind of come back to room temperature, but at the process of all of the flavors kind of marinating together. So that's pretty much it, right? We just do a little salt, do a little pepper, and now you have yourself a roasted corn salsa that could go over your taco. It could go over your rice bowl. It can go whatever. And guess what? It's going to be better than damn chipotles, because chipotles, they're not giving it this much love. So there it is. There is your roasted corn salsa. And I will be giving these recipes out here after the stream. So if you're wondering like, Nick, damn, I want to try that. Stay tuned. You'll get your recipes. Sure enough. So let me figure it out. Let me figure out exactly what I put in here first. And make sure it's edible enough for you to do it. And of course, it always is. So we have that done. So now let me bring it back up here. How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing over here? Who likes ice cream? Roxanne, you ever make your own ice cream? Have you ever made like one of those Ninja Creamies? Because guess what? That's next week. That's next week on Food Friday. We got, we're going to be doing a me, that's right, everybody likes ice cream. So essentially what we're going to be doing, because in Pittsburgh, if you guys are wondering, that's where I'm from, apple picking season is upon us, right? And so it's time for us to go get some apples. Well, at least I like regular apples. But I figured, why not make that into a kind of like a protein sort of Ninja Creamy apple cinnamon? Is there a way that we could do this? You made homemade ice cream at your grandparents'. Have you ever used the creamy device, those Ninja Creamies? Those things are a night and day difference, right? It could either be the bane of your existence or the thing that you've been missing your whole life. So I've been loving them. I think they are really good. But let me bring you over here. So there's one more thing I want to show you guys before I let you go, is how to make since we got these onions, right? We got these regular onions. I want to show you how to make a pickled onion that you're actually going to like. So maybe if you don't like onions, then probably this isn't for you. But if you're one of the people like myself who really like onions, I encourage you to try. I got way too many. I got YouTube over here. I got Instagram over here. And it's off of my iPad. And it's off of my phone. So if you're wondering why I'm looking over here, you love onions? Well, good, you're going to like this. It's because I'm trying to figure out what is a good angle that you guys can both see what the hell I got going on. It's tough. I guess you really can't. We'll figure it out, right? Stay with me. Stay with me, everybody. We're going to figure this out together. We're going to figure this up of tea, so to speak. And then, I don't know, as I got older, right? They always say your taste buds change. So I'm just going to do 2 of these onions here. And so what I'm looking to do is just slice these down real thin. But I do want them like kind of like in the middle of like a julienne, like a traditional julienne, and then like a fine slice. And the reason why is because you want a little bite whenever because we are going to be pickling them. So it's important that we do have these damn skins all over the place. Some structure along with it. So how we're going to do this is you have our pickling base. So a lot of times when people are wondering like, well, what is a pickling base? So it's apple cider vinegar, and I like using rice vinegar. So I do a mixture of them both. So let me find my measuring cup, whatever the hell I did with that. Oh, it's over here. So I usually do, especially with this, it's either a half a cup. It's a half a cup, so I like of apple cider vinegar, or if it's a half a cup, let me bring you down here. And then I'll bring you right here. So luckily this thing has all these little cups. And so I'm doing 1/4 a cup of apple cider vinegar. I'm going to do 1/4 a cup of rice vinegar. And you could really do whatever, because 1/4 a cup and 1/4 a cup equals 1/2 a cup. So now that we have 1/2 a cup, I'm actually going to use this and do another 1/2 a cup of water. So 1/2 a cup plus 1/2 a cup equals a full cup. And so now that is your base. And so you just pour that into a pot, and essentially now you have a bunch of things to do. So with that, you can throw some like fresh peppercorns in here. That's not how you open it. I don't know. What the fuck? There we go. Let me spin this damn thing up. So when I make a pickling brine, because that's essentially what you're doing, is I like throwing some of these fresh peppercorns in here. I like throwing some chili flakes because I am a rebel. I don't have any mustard seeds. I would put those in there. But you also need a kind of like an herb, right? And so an herb, I like to throw some dill, or not dill, what the hell am I thinking? Some thyme, but I don't know if I have any fresh thyme. So I'm just gonna throw a bay leaf. You know, one thing that really pisses me off, you know it's a bay leaf, right? If anybody's ever seen a bay leaf, it's a leaf. Why do they do this? Like, are we really shaking out the bay leaf? Look at this, YouTube. Why do they do that? So they make you open it and then pull the leaf out. Why would they have it in a shaker? Why wouldn't, like, what the hell? So, whatever. So I'm throwing one in there. I don't know, that's one of those things that like kind of get me. I'm like, what the fuck are they, why are we doing this? I don't know if you've ever thought about that, but look at some of your containers next time and wonder, why are they doing this to us? Why? So I got a little bit of oregano, and I'm going to throw that in there as well. And really, you can make, like, when you get into pickling, right? I think a lot of times when people talk about pickling, like pickling vegetables, it's really what is, what you have available, right? Like what type of spices you have available, what type of things you have available. But also, with a pickle, you need sugar. So not only do you have your vinegars already mixed up right here, you have your herbs, maybe a bay leaf. You also need a little bit of sugar to offset a lot of that acidity. So, and this is how essentially you know it's done. Because you don't want this to boil, right? You want to throw in some of your sugar. And I'm just going to do like a tablespoon. Nothing too crazy. It's just a regular tablespoon of sugar. I'm going to throw that in there. And at the bottom of the pan, you can actually see, and let me bring you over here. I'll bring you over to YouTube. Well, first, let me show you. Is that you can see how the bottom of it is, like you can see the sugar at the bottom. Whenever that boils away, you know it's done. It's that, I wouldn't say it's that simple, but it's that simple. Let me show you YouTube. That's why I need somebody coming over here with me. So, as you can see, right, there's this sugar. This is what I was just, once that is dissolved into the vinegar, now you know it's done. So, it's that easy to let you know, and you're not doing this for like hours, right? You're really just trying to do this real quick where heat it up, you're watching it, you got everything kind of in your vicinity. You got your corn cooling down, you got your pickles we're about to do. And so I always like to start this, like the brine is what it's called. Always like to start the brine before I cut the onions. So let me show you these onions. So when I cut, what I essentially want you to do is you always start at the bottom end and then you work yourself up. So I'm going to show you. And so you always cut going around an angle, never just straight down. And it's important that you have a sharp knife or else you won't be able to do this. And if you're somebody who cries whenever you cut an onion, well, I'll tell you why. It's because your knife isn't sharp enough. That is the number one reason why you cry when you cut an onion. See, I'm not crying. I'm not crying. I'm watching about 5 minutes. I'm going to start tearing up. So if I start tearing up, you know exactly why. But really, sharp knife will keep you from crying every time whenever you are cutting an onion. And if you're ever curious to know why, I'm going to tell you. So, just like most things in the wild, I'm sweating my ass off in here, so I apologize. It's hot in here. So, I'm sitting right next to the oven. I feel like I'm back on the line at the kitchen. Like, holy shit, this is giving me PTSD. But essentially, when you cut an onion, just like most things in nature, you have a defense mechanism. And so in nature, an onion, its defense mechanism from predators eating it out of the ground is to release a gas. Once it releases a gas, usually that's from somebody taking a bite. So as soon as they take that bite, it releases the gas and it just kind of makes them cry and goes away. Same thing for us, right? So if you go to cut an onion with a dull knife, it's just like it thinks that it's a gas or you're a predator, and you're tearing at it, you're ripping at it, so it releases the gas, therefore you cry. Yes, that is true. That is true. So, just in case you wanted to know, something you know for now. So now that we got this, we have the brine. It didn't take too long for that sugar to kind of turn over, right? So we're just mixing this together. It smells like vinegar. Holy shit, yeah, don't take a deep. That's gonna make me cry. Woo! Wow, kitty. Let me get some water. Holy shit. Yeah, definitely don't inhale the vinegar that is boiling because, wow. I just got my hair cut, they waxed my nose, so now I'm able to smell way more stuff than I probably should have. So we have our, where the hell's our bowl? Now, I don't have any containers. I'm kind of pissed. But what I would do is if you had a mason jar, I would recommend that you stuff your onions first with the mason jar, and then you pour the brine over top of it. Well, what we're going to do is just get a bowl and just pour the brine over top of it. And would you look at that, like I've done it a million times before, it is the perfect amount of brine to onion ratio. Would you look at that? Would you look at that? Like I've done it before. Because I have way too many times. But I'm going to keep this bay leaf in there. Just make sure you don't eat it. Please. Just make sure you don't eat that. That's going to be dangerous. You do not want to eat a bay leaf. That is a bad taste. We do not want that. But that's simple, right? There's pickled vegetables. That's very easy to do. It's a very easy side. It's a very easy thing that you can do for your tacos, for your burgers, for your anything. As long as you got apple cider vinegar, you got some rice vinegar, throw some veggies, throw some pepper, throw some stuff on there, and then set it and forget it, right? Like we said before. And so it's exactly what I'm going to do is I'm going to set that aside and I'm going to let it go. So now, how's everybody doing with me? I can start to feel my eyes starting to cry a little bit because of the onions or the vinegar or just how hot it is in this fucking kitchen. Holy shit. But essentially, that's what we got going on. So we have the chipotle pork. We got all of our sides basically done. We got the sides. They're kind of, yeah, they're doing their thing. So that leaves us, do we have time? Yeah, fucking right, we got time. I'm going to show you how to make some muffins real quick. So some sweet potato muffins should only take us probably about 10 minutes to kind of put together. So if you've ever wanted like kind of like a savory, kind of fall, kind of healthy side dish, this is going to be perfect for you. So this is actually, we use oat flour, a little bit of protein powder. You can use vanilla base. You can use unflavored, depending on really how much you want it to be or how sweet you want it to be. But what I'm going to do for this particular recipe is that it's going to be more or less kind of like a, almost like a breakfast type thing. So I'm going to have it with my eggs. So essentially what we're going to be doing with this, and it's very macro based, very macro calorie dense, as I should say. But how we're going to do it is it goes with the sweet potatoes. It goes with, it's actually very simple. It's just like you get your dry, you get your wet. We're going to put them together and I'm going to show you how it looks. So let's get it together real quick. And this is going to be our last thing because I have a hard out at 4:30 because I'm pretty sure I have a meeting at 4:30. So yes, I do. Okay, so I do still have a meeting at 4:30. Perfect. So let's do this. Let's get to work. So how we are going to do this is I want us to get the flour. You know, I thought I had everything in front of me, but I didn't. Here it is. So we need to get our, let me move this. So make sure you get, this kitchen is way too small for the things that I'm trying to do. This kitchen is way too small. Hopefully Instagram can hear that and start delivering us some housing. I'm kidding. We're good. We're not struggling. It's just this house, this kitchen is so fucking small, especially for here. But, all right, so we are making the potato muffins now. Sweet potato muffins inside. We are making the sweet potato. So maybe I should just fill that in so when people come in. Okay, so making sweet potato muffins. Bingo. Send. There we go. And then I'm going to pin this because I've been getting a lot of, they're like, people have been coming in. They're like, Nick, I'm in your live streams, but I don't even know what the hell you're doing. And then I'm late. I don't even know what's going on. So I'll give you a little fill in. We're making the sweet potato muffins, right? Making sweet potato muffins. So that's how we're going to do it. And yes, look at the cat. She's not dead. She does look like it though. She may or may not be. I don't know. We're just going to leave her there. We'll find out. So let's get ourselves together. We have oat flour. Now, you don't necessarily need to buy oat flour. If you got oats, you could ground them up and spin them, and you will get oat flour. But I do need a cup and a half of this oat flour. Now, luckily, I just bought these new. You know, I don't know about you. Do you keep your stuff on the ring or do you take them off? Because sometimes I feel like I want them on, but then there's other times where I'm like, this is actually just kind of pissing me off. So we have a half a cup, and we're going to do this 4 times to get us where we want to be, a cup and a half. Oh my God. See, this is gonna piss me off now. Because that thing does not scoop the way that I want it to scoop. All right, so let's just do it like this. We're gonna wipe this out and let's just funnel it right here. Now, when you guys bake, would you rather weigh your ingredients, or are you somebody who actually measures out all of your ingredients? And honestly, if this is actually 1.5 cups, just by a random eye, I am going to go down and play the lottery. Damn, we were close. Look at that. We were close. I don't know if you can see that. 1/2 cup. I can't believe I was that close, to be honest. Holy smokes. So we are just going to throw a little bit more on top of there. Bada bing, bada boom. Throw it right back into the can or pan or wherever you're going. Where is my... Oh, yeah. We're going to use vanilla protein powder, too. So I want you looking over here. We got the vanilla protein powder. We're going to do 1/2 cup of this as well. So this is just vanilla whey, nice and easy, just kind of cutting off some of the protein just to give us a little bit extra protein. So let's see, we got one of these scoops. You ever wonder how much one scoop is? One scoop is actually 1/3 of a cup. So we would need 1.5 scoops depending on how big your scooper is. And then we're going to use one more set of flour, which is my whole wheat all-purpose flour. And again, you could use really anything, depending on, do you have specific celiac disease? Do you have specific allergies? Really use the flour of your choice. But I have the oat flour, the whole wheat flour, and some protein powder into these muffins. And that is going to be a lot of your dry base, so to speak, right? So when we think of the dry base, you always want to combine your dry ingredients first. So I'm using baking soda. I'm going to be using some baking powder, if I can find out what the hell I did with that. So I use a little mixture of them both. I thought I just had baking powder. Oh well. Again, in this kitchen, you start moving, I start grooving, I start forgetting. I don't even know where the hell I put half of this shit. So, we have... What did I do? This is why I need somebody helping me do these streams. Baking powder, where are you? There you are. So we're using baking powder and we're using baking soda. We're putting the dry ingredients together, and we're going to be using a teaspoon of them each. So 1 teaspoon. Make it nice and easy. Baking soda, baking powder. We're going to throw in some salt as well, because every time you're cooking, you do need a little bit of salt. You just got to watch out how much. I'm using 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And I'm going to throw some, cinnamon, because this is fall, so we got to throw some cinnamon in there. And again, I'm measuring with my heart here because I got to rush it. I'm going to throw some ground nutmeg. A little bit goes a long way. And if you have this, it's called pumpkin pie spice. We're going to throw a little bit of that with our dry ingredients as well. So once we have, I'll save that right there. So really, that's pretty much it for the dry ingredients. So you could either use your sifter, you could use a fork, however you want to do it. Just mix it together, getting some of the clumps out of there, and just really trying to blend it all together, right? It's nothing too crazy. You're just really trying to make sure that you are bringing all of this stuff together. So once you have your dry ingredients, it makes it pretty easy because, shit, I should have done this earlier. is that I have those sweet potatoes that I don't know what I did with over here that are in this container or in the little plastic. And so essentially what that allows us to do is it allows us to microwave it, and it cooks just a little bit quicker, right? And so I don't know if you've ever seen these, but you can microwave it in the skin because they're microwave cooks in 6 to 8 minutes, essentially is what it says. So if these cook in 6 to 8 minutes, which was a lot less than how I would say 45 to an hour if you're doing it in an oven. If you've ever tried making sweet potatoes in the oven, you know it takes way too fucking long. And that's why a lot of people don't even like doing sweet potatoes, because it takes too long in the oven. So essentially, I know I have another one floating around here somewhere. I'm gonna peel these little stickers off, and I'm gonna microwave this for 6 hours. No, not 6 hours. 6 minutes. And we're gonna let that go as my coffee from the morning is still in there. I was trying to heat it up and I forgot. So we got that going because that's gonna be part of our wet ingredient, right? When we think of it. So what is the wet ingredient? Remember that half a cup of yogurt that I talked to you about earlier? I told you not to save it from I told you to save it from the crema. That's where we go here. So you get your half a cup of yogurt, add it to a bowl. You're gonna go for your wet ingredients. It's really just butter, flour, or butter, yogurt, honey, eggs, and vanilla. And it's pretty simple from that regard. And your mashed sweet potatoes. So that starts to get your muffin, and then we would mix it with our dry ingredients. And you know me, it ain't a Food Friday stream without busting out the silicone baking mat, right? I mean, let's fucking be real. I love these things. Look how easy this is. You don't need to spray it. You don't need anything. You can just pop them out, ready to rock and roll. Egg bites, muffins, cupcakes. I mean, if you're not using a damn silicone, now, I don't know the long-term effects of using these things, but I do know it makes my life so much easier in the kitchen because I could just, boom, bam, done up. What up, Benji? How we doing? How we doing? Pit Masher Flash. I like that. Pit Masher Flash. You know what? Fast as lightning, right? Hopefully we can get these things cooking fast as lightning. That'd be ideal. But let me show you. I can smell these onions. I mean, holy shit, does this smell good. Look at these pickled onions that we just made. I mean, it smells great. I mean, smells amazing. Just to give everybody a little recap while I guess these things are cooking, so I can kind of show you what it does, is that we did a chipotle. We did a lot of stuff today. So we did a avocado crema. We did what else did we do? We're doing these potato muffins. We got the chipotle pork in the oven, or in the slow cooker. So overall, we made a bunch of shit happen today. You should, and I appreciate everybody for tuning in and sticking around for these Food Fridays. So Food Fridays, we've been doing something a little bit different. I just added in doing like some product, some kitchen gadget stuff, because I know I want to start adding in just a little bit more content in regards to like the food, the fitness, and all that other stuff, and mixing it up, because that is essentially the business. I know a lot of you have followed me or started following me from the exercise stuff, right? And I appreciate all that, but that is just a component of the mission and the page's goal kind of going forward. So I always love, I'm a chef at heart, I'm a yoga teacher, I'm an exercise physiologist, I'm a coach, and so it's my obligation to kind of put these all together somehow and be able to help you become a better person. So hopefully you can see that in the make the onions. Oh, make the onions. I love it. I love it. We already made the onions. How far behind are you? We made the onions. But if you do want the recipe, so anybody who's over here on YouTube, So if you're wondering why I'm talking over here, looking over here, is that we're live on YouTube right here and then live on Instagram over here. So we're like, so I'm trying to, yeah, I just need it all on one camera and maybe that could go to YouTube. Maybe I should look into that. I know they make that, but I haven't done that. But yeah, so YouTube, if you want, I will be releasing all the recipes on my Instagram page. So make sure you go to the Instagram page, follow. I will be releasing it later on tonight after my meeting here in a little bit. So let's look at these. Holy shit, they are hot. All right. So we're gonna let that go. That's hot. So I got the oven preheated for 350, and look, I already got my recipe right here. This is my old I haven't made this in so long. This one was very good. I did this last summer for JT, one of my clients, and he said him and his hockey guys ate these up. Like, they just put butter over top of them and ate them. I was like, oh, cool, great. So I don't know if that's necessarily my goal, to put butter over top of it, but a little cinnamon sugar crumble goes a long way. You know what I mean? It goes a long way. So hopefully we can get this over with before I have to do a hard stop here at 4 minutes. So I'm not going to be able to get these off in 4 minutes. So one thing I will say is I thanked everybody for tuning in. Thanks everybody for showing up. And that was Food Friday. And you know, we're going live 4 days out of the week. So make sure you tune in and stay connected. Stay connected, everyone. So I appreciate everybody tuning in, and I will see you